Hello, hello. This is Samara, your feminist alchemist, and welcome to Grounding into Gaia, episode 2. These readings are timeless, so I give it a number just for organizational purposes. But you can watch them in any order, and whatever time this reading comes to you, it is meant for you. And they also wanted me to point out that you coming to this energy later doesn't mean that you're lagging behind or, you missed out on something. It's, you may have been dealing with a different priority at that time, or you had a different priority at that time. So right now I'm reading during the eclipse, which is tomorrow, or in the middle of the night. So energies are very high, but anytime that this comes to you, it's meant for you. Which eclipse? I'm not even going to tell you. Anyway, so what I have this month is messages from the bees, or the consciousness that is the bees. And, that mostly we think of honeybees. For the longest time, I also confused. I never knew what really made a bee and a wasp. I mean, other than honey, but not all bees make honey. So, and the bees came into my consciousness in a really synchronistic way, which I also will have. I think by the time this video is posted, I will have posted a video on not a video. Oh, geez. Eclipse energy and Mercury retrograde. No, I would have posted an article of musings about how I came about kind of getting to know the energy of the bees, spending time finding out about bees and their habits and wasps and how they're different. And but even right before, I was going to delay this reading for a while because I figured eclipse energy and Mercury retrograde, it could end up being a very long video where I ramble on endlessly. But two things happened. First of all, I don't have a screen on my window, and a wasp came in and decided that he or she wanted to spend the night on my windowsill. I thought it was dead. But in the morning it was up again and moving around and trying to get outside. So I had to help it get outside because it couldn't find its way. So that was one. And then as I was setting up the crystals here, because I changed them around according to the energies and such, then a honeybee, because now I know what it looks like. A honeybee came to my window all fuzzy and with the little pollen pockets on its legs. And it was just hovering outside my window. And I just asked, please don't come in because, it really stresses me out. And then it flew away. So yes, I've been having some conversations and interactions with the bees. And when I do these Gaia readings, I mean, this is only the second, but I'm getting a taste of what type of channels come through, am I going to be communicating with the same consciousness every time? And apparently that's not the case. As long as I keep connecting to the Earth's energies, then different representatives, different consciousness will be coming to the forefront with their messages. And so this month it was the bees. So I'm going to let you listen to that this month's channeled message in a moment. I will go through my quick disclaimers first. So, well, we're not into the reading yet, but there will be a picky card reading and it will be a general reading. So if it can be possible that not all of the messages will apply to you. So just take what resonates and let the rest go. with love, because it's there for somebody, just that somebody may not be you. And if you appreciate this video, then you can give it a like, a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel and click the bell to be notified when I upload. There's also various ways to follow me on other social media channels in the description box below. So without further ado, here is your channeled message from the bees. Enjoy. We are here. We are the consciousness you refer to as bees. And we have come forward. We have requested a message. We have requested to send a message through this channel. In all our years working together to pollinate this planet, we have seen, well, it's hard to say that we see what you do, you humans. What we do know is that one who only does for the recognition of what they do cannot be in alignment with their highest purpose. One that belittles or diminishes the work, the contribution of others cannot be in alignment with their highest frequency, and goes one step further to pull others off of their path. What good can come of this? For creation, there needs all types of people, personalities, organisms, beliefs, preferences. Imagine if every bee fought to be the queen bee. We speak of the hive. How quickly would the hive die if all sought to be the queen bee? Yet the queen bee would also die, languish without the many, many workers, the drones, those who do what they do in the best way they can do it, knowing that this is their path, that this is their contribution. Does that mean that the drones are lower class and live a life of drudgery? It should not be so. No. Why? Because the queen does not belittle their contribution. Behold how much strife there is in your world, in your societies, competition. And what is the basis of this competition? It is the basis of somehow someone is better or someone is not as good. Someone's contribution is more important and someone's is less important. A narrow definition of success and so many definitions of failure. It's, you have built quite a system that leaves you, each of you, feeling like less than you are, less than divine, less than unique, less than special, less than, and therefore somehow unworthy of all of the pleasures, joys of life. Note how much complexity can be built out of simplicity. We bring to your attention that embracing, owning your vibration, your frequency, your talents, your supposed lack thereof, everything about you is made exactly that way for your contribution. When you seek to change that, you diminish your own contribution and therefore seek external validation to say you are on the right track. No external validation is needed when you are internally aligned. You affect more people in positive, magical ways than you ever know, whether you are cleaning, baking, writing, raising children, gardening. This, dearest, loving, divine human, this planet would not survive if its life forms did not work together. We ask you, are you not a part of that same divine construct? We leave you with that and bless you. We are complete. So, welcome back. So when I'm recording this video right now that you're seeing with the cards out in front of me and such, I actually just did the channeled message like 15 minutes ago. And it's too soon for me to go back and listen to what was said. So I'm just still in the resonance of the energy, and trust that my spirit understands and remembers enough to comment on it a little bit. So the bees are a collective energy. Even though there are solitary bees, I am doing some reading on it. That there will also be a book review coming up soon when I finish a book about bees that I picked up. And but for all intents and purposes of this reading and this segment, it's about the bees' function, the pollinating our planet and basically making it possible for crops to grow that we rely on heavily. And in that makeup, there are bees of all different, like, I forget how many species of bees there are. Was it 20,000 or more? There's a lot. There's a lot more than, the average person would be aware of if you don't really pay attention to the insect realm and to bees. And it takes all types to make the world go round. It takes all types to create abundance for all people in all things. And the question that the bees posed at the end is like, why do we as humans think that there is that it doesn't take all types for us? Everyone wants to be something other than what they are. Now, I know that's a sweeping general statement. But if you look at what we are encouraged, we're encouraged to do better, to be slimmer, to be stronger, to be lighter, to be darker, to be tanned, to have longer hair, to have, always striving for something else or something additional rather than really making a home in who and what we are. Really, so they're saying really like sinking your teeth into this is what makes me me, and that being worthy of everything, and that being something that is validated on a very internal level inside of you and in your relationship to your divine self and in your relationship to the divine. I think even on my own spiritual path of learning and growing and crying and forgiving and yelling and taking steps backwards and having too much wine. So that's a story for another day. But the point is that even on that journey where you're tapping into gifts, tapping into your expanded self, you can still run into, and I have still run into places where you're looking for someone else to tell you that you're good enough. It's like, is my channel good enough? I don't know. Are you resonating with this reading? I don't know. It's good to know when something, is helpful to people, but it's another thing to need someone to tell you that you're good enough at something in order for you to continue doing something that you love to do, right? Because it has been like wired into your system to love and get joy from certain things, which change over time because it serves you and is in alignment with you, with your soul and with your soul's purpose. And I think for me, then that is really what the bee consciousness has been making me aware of in this past month that they've been in my face. um, and believe me, there's a really, believe me, haha, pun. There's a lot to learn about bees. I'm totally here as a enthusiastic student of everything that nature has to teach me, and the bees is just one subject at the moment. And there's much more to learn. There's even bee shamanism as well. Maybe I'll put a link to that in the description box as well. I've been looking at bee priestesses, bee shamanism. So if what this little introduction has given you some interest in looking further, I will make sure to put some resources in the description box. Now, let's get to the pick a card reading, shall we? So I have 3 piles here of pre-shuffled oracles. I think there's some tarot in there too. Did some pre-shuffling. After or during the reading, I'm going to shuffle some clarifiers if needed, and then some final oracles, and we'll give you your messages from the bees this month. So there are no crystals to denote the piles this month. I was asked just to leave it this way. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And I will give you a 1-minute meditation to choose your pile. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose, what is this deck? Well, you chose pile 1. I think this is Divine Animals by Stacey DeMarco. I'm looking for if I put the box somewhere. No, I did not. Anyway, so your card, your bee card is Reciprocity. Honeybee, and it's card number 6 in this deck. I'll put it down here. So let's see what came out for you. This is from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Number 13, Union. So in the traditional tarot, that would be the Death card. Another major arcana. Another major arcana? 18, Thought, which is the Moon card in the traditional tarot. Then we have Womb. I think they actually want me to put these here. So number 43, Womb from the Earth Crafters Oracle. Sorry, Earthcraft Oracle. Then Priestess of Light Oracle, Death and Rebirth, Darkness to Light, 19, very appropriate as you got Union, which is also death card. And number 41, the rescuer from the rose, Oracle of the Roses, sorry. Number 41, the rescuer, Miss Edith Cavil Rose. Okay, so let's see. Sorry if you hear my stool squeaking. It's time for a new one. So with honeybee reciprocity, connecting back to the channeled message that came through, this is about looking at the balance of give and take in your life. And for each one of you out there, it's different whether you're giving too much or taking too much, but there seems to be, like, 6 is a number of balance as well, if you can see number 6 there. 6 is a number of balance. And there seems to be a need to look at that at the moment. If you are an over giver or over taker, and they're saying that there are some of you out there in listening to this reading. So taking too much and not giving enough in return. And for some of you, this is coming about as a question of whether or not you treat people as equals. Do you look down on people because of their job, how they dress, their ethnicity, their income? So because with the Union card and the Thought card, and I'll pull them up here for you to see. The Union card and the Thought card. I'm getting with the Union card a union of your light self and your shadow self. So if you're closet judgmental or closet critical, overly critical of people, we tend to do that because we're also critical of ourselves, and because we would never want ourselves to be in that person's shoes. Like we would, or we have been in that person's shoes and we blame ourselves for being in that person's shoes. So we haven't forgiven ourselves and don't really respect that version of ourselves that made that decision, or we don't honor that we did what we had to do in the moment, or did the best that we could do with what we had in the moment. So there is a need for putting yourself in the other person's shoes, and also looking back at things that you've done that you feel like you stuffed away as being ashamed of, or you blame yourself. You're feel guilty about it, or you look down on yourself for those things. You think that it's your fault and that some shortcoming of your own. That's the word they're using, shortcoming. And in that, I'm also getting that there may be some of you who are in a work situation that really doesn't honor all that you're able to be, the wolf here, and it doesn't honor your individuality. I'm getting the strong energy of and I saw this image earlier, like if someone's being bullied and you kind of go along with the bullying because you want to be in the clique, or you want to be in the majority and not the minority. But the reality is you have your own uniqueness that you kind of hide from people. And you may have gotten even so used to it that you don't realize that you've buried a part of yourself. And in those situations where we are not honoring ourselves as we should, we tend to over rely on external validation, external reward, because we're not getting it from ourselves. And that could either be in the form of taking too much from people because and being selfish about it, or giving too much because you want to get that recognition, that appreciation in return. And the thought card is saying, they're showing me the two masks here, and the one that's really lit up and the one that's kind of behind her back here. Really think about what mask, what face you put on for the world. Now, we all have kind of an outdoor self and an indoor self. However, your outdoor self shouldn't be a different person than your indoor self, really. It should be, let's say, yourself, but protecting the soft bits until you know someone better, for example, until you know they're not a gossip or they're not petty and out to get you or out to spoil your name or something. So and I'm seeing here that what you have in the darkness is lit up by stars. Okay, something happened with my sound, so I hope that this was recording okay up to now. But yeah, so let me go back to what I was saying. What's in the shadow is lit up by stars. What's in the moon? So I'm getting that there's the divinely inspired self, and then what you put out into the universe or into the world. And I'm also seeing feminine and masculine, lunar energy and solar energy, which is very appropriate for the time that I'm reading this. And once again, it comes down to balance. 6 times 3 is 18 here. And I'm getting like the sun, the moon, and you. So it's 3. Sorry about that glare on the card there. So some thought has to be put into if what you're putting out into the world is really bringing back to you what it is that you feel, that makes you feel fulfilled. And realistically, or the way that they're saying that the way that it should go, the way that it goes more smoothly is if you're already in enjoyment with what you put out, at peace with what you put out into the world. Because there's not every time that you put out something good and you're going to get something good in return. Sometimes you'll get nothing. Sometimes you'll get criticism or negativity. It's not one-to-one all the time. It's, big picture. And in the big picture, you always want to be sure that you followed they're saying star soul. You followed your star soul and your heart, right? Which card are we going to now? Womb, yes. So you are in a state of rebirth. And this rebirth is around this idea of reciprocity. And the death and rebirth card is saying the same thing, darkness to light. You have a lot. Look at all of these cards that you have that represent duality. You have reciprocity. You have union with the two kind of dragony snake head figures. You have thought that has the two masks there, and you have death and rebirth that have the two Black Panthers, and it also has kind of or are they jaguars? Look kind of like jaguars, but anyway, this kind of womb in the tree there. Now the last card here, the Rescuer, I feel speaks to those of you who who try to save people. And they may be people that don't need to be saved. Not don't need to be, but yeah, that you don't have to put yourself out there like that for them. So this goes back to the over giving. And are you codependent? Are you codependent on someone who gives you that validation? And are you giving validation where validation is actually due? Or are you giving validation because, do you over-validate? Put it that way. Do you over-validate because you don't want to make anyone uncomfortable? Things like this. So are we going to do, yes, we're going to do a little bit. We're just going to pull 3 tarot cards from the Tarot of the Divine to see if, we're going to see. We're just going to clarify. We're going to clarify anything that needs to be clarified, although it feels very clear to me now, but I don't want to jump to the final oracles in case there's something else. And I do feel, there's more to say a little bit. Okay, 3 cards for pile 1. Reciprocity. There you go. There's your 3. So first one, we have the moon again. So really do look into what's really in your heart. And if you are acting, if you took on a role in life that doesn't honor really all that you are, then they're saying that relieve yourself from feeling trapped in a situation or in situations. Because if you came for a purpose, why, like the divine doesn't necessarily put you through tests the way that people say this is a test of my resilience. It can be a test, but it's not like you're going to fail, right? It's about discernment and being willing to put your high vibration and living out your soul's purpose above short-term comforts and illusions of stability, illusions of security, illusions of fulfillment. So you really do need to take a look, because if what you're putting out into the world as well is done with like resentment, with expectations, then what you get back is not going to be so sweet as the honeybee can provide you. Yes. Then we have the 6 of Wands. And we have the 2 of Wands. So you have a 6 again. So everything showed up again, basically. Because the 6 of Wands here, like, look at how she's like, it seems like she's revered. Her horse is all decorated. She she knows what she's capable of. She's succeeded, and she's reaping the rewards. And in this whole line here with honeybee, then womb, which 4 + 3 is 7, and then 6 of wands. Finding that balance in your life is going to reap a lot of rewards for you. And what it is that wants to be birthed through you, what you need to do to bring. So this is not necessarily telling me what you need to bring into balance, but it's telling me that something needs to be brought into balance. And some of that, as I said, could be, this is a collective, be consciousness, be collective message. So think about what it means when you take too much or give too much to the balance of everything else around you, and you suffer as well. But that does not mean that you're not able to stand out. But you stand out for what it is that you were brought here to birth into form. And standing out for something else other than that, you will find will not be as fulfilling for you. And the Two of Wands is that choice. It's like, which way are you going to go? Which path are you going to take? Is it going to be one of obligation, a feeling of obligation, or is it going to be one of a feeling of, deep knowing and intention, heart-centered intention? I'm going to shuffle the final oracles and see what there is for you in there. So we have, I just shuffled what is it called? Power of Love Oracle by James Van Praagh. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, so I will apologize ahead of time. And then I'm going to pull from the Earth Warriors Oracle by Alana Fairchild. So we're just going to take one card from this one. Okay, give me two. But we'll work with it. So messages, or Power of Love Oracle says, past. Through the power of love, you release any stagnant situations or energy in order to transform your heart space. And we have action. You have the courage to express the unique, loving colors of your soul. So that's pretty straightforward, especially the action card. Reciprocity. And the past. Yeah, it's about letting this rebirth is on its way already. It's well on its way. And I'm getting the sense that you feel it coming, but you don't know what to do with the energy. And let's see. We got card 20. I don't know if it's Chaska or Chaska. I'm going to go Chaska, Star of Venus. And Puyo, Guardian of Amakua. So card 24. 6 again. So my apologies once again if I am mispronouncing names, which I'm sure I am. So for these ones, I'm going to, they would like me to do both intuitive and reading from the book. Not the whole thing from the book, but just the pertinent section. And this one, the Star of Venus, there's a lot about really honoring all of your talents and skills and honoring your capacity to be very loving. And I have a feeling from this past card and the Chaaska card being together that you may have had many situations where your softer, loving self like just would not have survived if you really went in like that. And maybe you were younger and less experienced, and so you learned how to do the mask thing. You learned how to be strong, and you learned how to hide certain things away. But this is now a time where all of that is your superpower. It has always been your superpower. It's just that it takes a lot to be, soft in a room where everyone is or in an industry, in a world where everyone is hard. It takes real grounded faith and trust that you will not be hurt, that you will navigate through people who see you as naive or as weak. But you are a star. You're definitely a star. And the Guardian here is also telling me that you are blessed and highly favored. Let's start there. And you actually are very strong. Very strong on a soul level, very strong intuitively, very strong emotionally, but you may not be using it in the most productive way to yourself, and therefore not the most productive way to the collective. Let's read what the Star of Venus has to say here. Chaaska, Star of Venus, supports an inner shift to higher consciousness. Whether or not you consider yourself to be financially skillful, part of your sacred power and purpose includes the healing of economic and financial matters in your life and the world. You are meant to experience abundance, creating and sharing prosperity from a place of inner spiritual security. Hey, a healing liberation from poverty consciousness allows the universe to work through you more easily without the obstruction of negative conditions. Oh, I'm getting the vibe of someone working too hard and not getting enough money in return, and that turning into bitterness. Let's see what number 24 has. No matter how compelling an experience of challenge, darkness, or defeat may seem, you have divine protection and the promise of safe passage through to the dawn. You will see and hear the truth of the light. You shall not be alone on this journey. Soul guides now help you find your true worth. Your true north. If you have been proceeding along a dangerous path, even unknowingly, Pueo will navigate you safely away from evil and ill-wishing, guiding you back to your higher purpose and sacred path. Yes, so trusting in the divine and trusting that you were made the way you were made for a reason, so there's no reason for you to dumb that down and put it in a box because you are afraid of losing out or afraid that you won't be accepted, afraid that you will not find a job again. You are the star. I think that's all. Is that all? That's all the bees have for you today. Pile 1. Thank you so much for sticking around. I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you next month. And until then, take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye for now. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading from the consciousness of the bees. So your bee card is from the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, and it's card number 7, Bee Spirit, Sweet Results Await. So all of the decks start with a bee card, just so you know. It's just a bee card from different animal decks. So that is your card number 1. Should we put him up here? Let's put him down here so that we can see him better. These are your pre-shuffled cards, and then I'll shuffle some additional for clarification and some final oracles. We have card number 9, Knowledge, which I believe in the traditional would it be the Hermit? I think it would be the Hermit. And then Queen of Air is the Queen of Swords. We've got an owl in there who's being very very, what's the word, intense. Then from the Earthcraft Oracle, Karmic Debt, card number 15. Then we have card 44, ooh, Harvest, Gathering of Blessings. And this is from the Priestess of Light Oracle, by the way. And then from the Oracle of the Roses, you get the Gambler, number 30, Old Garden Rose, Fortune's Yellow Rose. So all in all, this is awesome. This is pretty amazing. Pile 2. So yeah, sweet results await. There is definitely, your hard work is about to pay off. And you have accumulated knowledge over the last, I'm seeing that there was a struggle from this karmic debt that you probably spent a lot of time in a cycle where you had to do some clearing of, you had some soul contracts to deal with, and you had some lessons to learn. You had some soul weightlifting to do to strengthen you for your next phase of life. So, but all of that knowledge now, like if you're seeing here, I even love that it's like this golden honey colored potion he has in his hand. It's like he learned how to alchemize, how to create, learned more knowledge of himself, themself as well, right? And this type of mastery or this type of knowledge is going to come more in handy than you may be starting to realize it, but it's definitely going to become more and more aware or more and more apparent in the coming weeks after you see this reading, especially if you start looking out for signs and synchronicities that you're on the right path. The Queen of Air is saying that you need to start looking at everything that has happened in the past with a new perspective, with a more kind and compassionate perspective towards yourself as well, because how you think about yourself is seeping into, is reflecting in your world as to how people think about you. So if you, for example, are not very confident in one of your skills and you got this job and you feel like you don't deserve it, or, I'm a self-taught painter, my stuff isn't that complex, it's not that good, then people will say, oh yeah, your painting is elementary. But it could be very deep to someone else, and it could be very deep. And the reason that it would be deep anyways, because regardless of how much you could be, I'm just using the analogy of a painter, but this could be anything. You could be self-taught and have a lot of natural talent. You could be not an amazing singer, but have amazing lyrics and amazing emotion behind it. And you could have a master's of fine arts from somewhere and not have the confidence to really put yourself out there. So regardless of where you are on your journey of knowledge, you have to think that I have something to contribute, and my experiences are valid. And what I have been through has taught me something that has given me experience that other people can learn from, that other people can benefit from, and that I definitely benefit from. Because 44 here, harvest, gathering of blessings, if your head is in this past of, painting the past, victim mentality, let's say, as a blanket term, then you're not going to recognize when seeds you have planted have grown, because it may be small. It may start off small opportunities, small indications that the tide is turning, right? And it's up to you to, I don't know why they said grab those by the nuts. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but but it's up to you to grab what is yours and capitalize on it and move forward with it further, right? And you can't do that. You won't recognize it if you're still in this. But this is over. This is ending for you. These tears, this going into the dark place, this constant confronting of your shadow and your shadow reflected in other people, that can and will end once you change the way you tell the story, and that story of whatever happened here ends up in your knowledge bank, right? You don't forget about things, but they don't run your life arbitrarily anymore. You tap into it as a source of wisdom when it's needed. And with the gambler, Fortune's yellow rose is like, take a chance on yourself and take a chance on, I'm getting some of you have the opportunity to be in the public eye, but don't want to be because of, whatever this is. Afraid of bumping into certain people that you don't want to bump into, afraid of the criticism that comes with putting yourself out there, like if you're posting on certain social media, or if you're telling even an intimate story of like one of these karmic things, situations. There's hesitant, you may be hesitating. The gambler is saying the risk is going to be worth it. Like, just take that risk. Now, that doesn't mean to, go all out without a plan, without a strategy, and with reckless disregard. But discernment, the Queen of Air, has an intuitive discernment as well, and also trusts the divine to help her discern. Now, you could be a man or a woman. I'm just saying it's a divine feminine energy. Help her discern what, like, look, the owl is like her wise counsel. Yes. And as I said, when I brought out the owl was like staring at me. So you are not unaccompanied on this risk that you can potentially take. And the risk that you can take is going to bring some really amazing harvest, some real sweetness into your life that has apparently been missing for some time. So let's get a little bit of clarity from the tarot here. Let's just see how this one goes here and this one goes down here. So we have the Ten of Wands in reverse, the Four of Swords in the upright, and the Page of Wands. Well, Ten of Wands in reverse, I'm getting unburden yourself. Ooh, unburden yourself. Can somebody be writing a tell-all? Yeah, that would be cool. I'll read it. Let me know. But unburden yourself of your worries, especially if these worries are about, I'm probably speaking to a certain subsection of you watching this. If your worries are about how people may criticize or judge your life up to now, especially if you're using it as the inspiration of what you're putting out there, then let that go. It's just that simple. I'm sorry. Let that go. I think the bees had said something about, in the complexity, there's simplicity. There is simplicity. You can let it go. You can let it go and be guided as to how to move forward, right? Now, this may be, and in any case, if it's not about a personal tell-all or something about your, no, they're saying, yeah, it's about your some burdens that you've carried from the past of even if this negativity or pessimism. That also is like, bye-bye. Take that weight off. And the Four of Swords is you've been through a lot, and you likely, like, this guy is not looking very happy with the sword through here. And he seems all tied up. Because the Four of Swords for me is normally like, take a rest. And it is. You need to take a rest and put things into perspective. Queen of Air. And put things into perspective, because the story you're telling and the story that your guides and the bees are seeing, it's like they're very different. There's some core differences. And the story that you're telling is not acknowledging really your essence, and therefore is not empowering you. Your story must empower you, even if some of the lessons were grimy to learn. Your story, with you as the protagonist, empowers you. And your guides see you as empowered through it. But if you don't take the time to step back and say, now I'm just carrying, when you get out of a bad relationship, or okay, they're giving me a different analogy. So if you have a job that's very monotonous, if you worked in a factory and 12-hour shifts, and you even went to bed and dreamed about the monotony of your job, the repetitiveness of it, even after you quit, there's going to be some amount of time that you'll still wake up in the morning and it will feel like I'm doing something wrong with my day, that I'm supposed to be in the factory right now. And even though you don't like being in the factory, it's like there's something about you that got used to it. And there's parts of you that unconsciously, subconsciously were just stuffed away, and you're on autopilot. The Four of Swords allows you to come out of being on autopilot and let you know that, yeah, that happened. We were in there. We went into survival mode. But now we're out of it, and we can revive things that we let lay dormant in ourselves so that we can make it through that situation. Right? And they're giving me the example of, if you're working in the factory and you're like a musician, right? You may have stopped thinking about music because it was just the days seemed longer if you actually thought about what you would rather be doing. So you stop really thinking about it so much. But you get musical inspiration all the time. but that got stifled because you needed to have a coping mechanism, and your coping mechanism was dumbing part of yourself down. And that goes for jobs, relationships. Someone out there, there's a relationship where you dumbed yourself down and you forgot how amazing you are. And you need time to really process and release that. And come to terms with, that happened and it's over now. So I can expand again into really whatever I want to be. And this is where the gambler comes in with the Page of Wands, because the Page of Wands look like he, I'm not sure. I have to check the card. But this person is going, it's she, because it looks like Oya to me. Yeah, if you look at this card, he is like going very enthusiastically forward. Now, there could be a little bit of naivete in there, but you can afford to be a little naive because that's where kind of the enthusiasm comes from. As long as you make sure that you are being strategic, you're consulting with wisdom and knowledge in whatever form that may come. And I'm getting that for some of you, you may have a human form or a familiar, an animal who will support you in tapping into that wisdom. But nonetheless, get excited about the next chapter, because that's the first thing that needs to happen. You need to get excited because this is over and sweet results await. Now, this is a very, everything seems to be aligned for you. It's just the way that you are thinking about your situation that is maybe slowing you down at the moment, but that's okay. You need to slow down to process. Don't feel any way about needing to process and taking the time to process. If your relationship was long over, but you're still processing, then you're still processing. No one can force you to be done before you're done. But if you are hanging on to anything from an old job or an old relationship, you should get rid of it. Sell it, give it away, whichever. I just shuffled messages. What is this deck called? Power of Love. Sorry, Power of Love by James Van Praagh. There it is. All the decks I'm using are linked in the description box below with affiliate links. So let's see. We have spontaneity. You move beyond the constraints of the mind and freely and lovingly embrace new situations. They want that there. Cause and effect. You are aware that the love you create in your thoughts is an agent of change and the foundation of your results. Friendliness. You are able to recognize traits in common with another in order to forge love-based connections. Okay, so there is, hey. Interesting. As I said, there's someone coming in that is going to give you some assistance with this transition that you have to go through, and you have the cause and effect is right in the center of everything. You now that the situation is done or is ending, are you still thinking about things in a way that are detrimental to your progress? We're going to pull one card from, I'm taking this one. Earth Warriors Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Whew, this eclipse energy has my head spinning. But we got card number 30, Panthera, the precious and the rare. I'm going to read a bit from it. Let's see how I can do this. Let's put it. Boop, 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 boop. Here we go. I'm getting from this card, they want me to do kind of an intuitive read before I just read from the guidebook, but you have the butterfly, you have the panther, you have a lady, and there's something very special about the balance that you bring in, like fierceness and tenderness. And it feels like you've really survived a lot of ish. And this is why you are precious and rare, especially if, like, I do have complete faith in you, those of you in pile 2, that you will go for your sweet results, go towards the sweetness and the blessings, because you deserve it and you're worth it. Because there will be such a celebration. There is already a celebration happening amongst the nature kingdom and the guides, that you are coming out of this dark place, this challenging place, because your vibration will be one of, what's the noun for revival? The revival, that's the word I'm looking for. Revival, rejuvenation. You seem to have been, like, you are naturally able to really handle polarities. And this is your butterfly time. This is your time to really soar and be on the sweet side of the polarity, the light side of the polarity. As we collectively start to reduce and merge these polarities, you're going to be important in that process. So let's read from the book here. Our faith and optimism are not meant to make us complacent, but to encourage us to believe that our action in the world will have a positive and real effect. There are situations where your voice, your courage, and your fearless determination are needed. You will make a difference. Cast helplessness or despair aside and realize the fighter within. Fight for that which needs defending with all of your heart. Do so with compassion, kindness, and mercy, but do not yield. Yes, see? What did I tell you? What did they tell you? Not me. So, I'm just a messenger. Yeah, and this comes right with your karmic debt and cause and effect. Yeah, pile 2. I'm so happy for you. And yeah, just believe in yourself. Believe. Oh my goodness, I need to stop making puns because I'm not very good at them. So with that, I leave you. I am so happy that you stopped by, and I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye for now. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's see. You chose, which deck is this? Oh, I forget the name of the decks. Spirit Animal Wisdom by Katie Jane Wright. I had to go look for the box. But yes, all the decks I'm using today are linked in the description box below as affiliate links. So let's see. So the first card is a B card. They're all B cards at the top of the deck. So we have Honeybee, Divine Feminine. You are being called on to rise. These are your pre-shuffled cards, and then of course I'm going to shuffle some clarifying tarot and some final oracles for you. We have the Three of, is that air? Geez, sometimes I don't know all of the symbols for the elements. Let me just double check. Yes, it's air. Woohoo! Yeah, it's my own fault for reading like during the eclipse and Mercury retrograde. My brain is like scrambled eggs, but it's working. I mean, my third eye is working, so that's all that we need. And what do we have here? Ooh, another air, two of air, which is swords, two of swords. Interesting, you got a divine feminine card, and then I feel very masculine energy from these two dreams of Gaia tarot cards, which are very beautiful but very different from the traditional tarot, just so you know. Then we have from the Earthcraft Oracle, we have Medicine Woman, number 17. Ooh. I'm already getting like tingles. River of Blessings, Releasing Constraints, card 47 from the Priestess of Light Oracle. And from Oracle of the Roses, you have one, the Democrat, Carolina Rose. Sorry about that, that noise there. All right, so where shall we begin? Honeybee, Divine Feminine. I feel I feel like, first of all, I have to read all of these collectively. I feel like you have, whether you're male or female, you have a very natural ability at healing. And your healing abilities are not mainstream, but you may have tried to package them in mainstream for what felt like the best thing to do for your collective, for your family. So I'm getting the energy of, let's say, someone who has herb crafting knowledge in their DNA, like it's innate, but they did the next best thing and decided to study to be a doctor or to be a pharmacist. They're saying pharmacist. I guess maybe there's a pharmacist out there. But that, even though you're dispensing medicine, it's not a holistic medicine. And divine feminine medicine has, like, it takes care of the whole being. You're from the bones to the cells, the viscera, the breath, the emotions, the beliefs, the, often with magic. So they're taking me down this road, so I'll go there. Often with like magic and casting spells, you don't just put the ingredients down and then walk away. There's always what you infuse into it. There's the words. There's maybe you're paying attention to where the cycle of the moon is, to the time of day. Is it early in the morning? Is it late at night? You pay attention to the environment that it's done in. Are you bringing in wood elements? Are you bringing in water? And then there's the affirmation part. There's the spoken part, the speaking things into form. So it's much different than dispensing a drug over the counter or, in a pharmacy. And in that way, I feel that you have denied the world of the full scope of your healing abilities. And that also causes unrest within yourself. You may have been subjected to a very black and white situation. So where the healing that you have to offer is not respected, appreciated, or seen as valid by the people closest to you and people whose opinions seem to matter to you. This is like the bees are saying, it's like, we don't really care what the others think about us, what the drones think about the workers, what the workers think about the female, what the queen thinks. Like, they don't care. They came into the world to do what they came to do. The queen laid the egg to make them that. And they became that because it serves the whole colony, right? So, to put it simply, if you were an egg, you were laid a certain way, you were made a certain way to benefit all of us, including yourself, right? You're made a certain way to benefit everybody, to benefit the whole. Yes, and they're even saying it's a hard pill to swallow, but even some people who are jerks, at least that portion of their life where they really were running rampantly in jerkhood, had a purpose for mobilizing other things around it. Right now, take that one with a grain of salt. However, that's how they said it to me. So back to you, Pile 3. Releasing constraints. River of blessings. It's like you are keeping your blessings from really flowing because you've been being the Democrat. Or, well, it's not the Democrat. For me, I read it as first the energy of like the diplomat. Right. It's like this is the colony not being able to support you because you're not putting out exactly what you are that needs to be supported. Will people fall away if you really emerge as this medicine woman archetype? If you do something that at the moment is still considered alternative. If someone out there wants to open a cannabis shop somewhere where cannabis is legal, open it. I'm telling you. Like, yes, if your more conservative family members think that you're just a drug dealer, then be like, yeah, I am, and so is my local pharmacist. Like, this is the point. You have, and that medicine also could be like writing. It could be your song. It could be your cooking. You have something that nourishes people. And some of the people whose opinion you care about, you need to release yourself from caring about their opinion, because especially if they're an elder who we respect, but there comes a time where you learn and you respect their opinion and you respect that they have their own ideas about things, but you came here to have your own ideas as well. And the divine would not encourage you in this way if it was a bad idea, or if it was bad for you, and will end up plunging you into, poverty and despair. This is, you may already be doing kind of well in what you're doing, but you could be doing better, because your abundance should be defined by a wider variation of things. So if you're abundant in money and house and in material things, but like you can't stand when your family comes over for dinner because whatever reason of them not supporting you in the way that you feel you want to be supported is on an emotional and spiritual level, then what is the difference between them making you unhappy now when you're doing something that you don't really want to do or that's not really fulfilling to you, and you doing exactly what fulfills you, than them not liking it? It's the same. Like, it's pretty much the same. It's more than pretty much the same. It is the same. Like, they will be the same regardless. You cannot let that dictate whether or not you really expand into the fullness of what you are meant to be and getting to your river of blessings, right? And the divine wants you to know, and the bees want you to know. I mean, the main focus is the bees here. They want you to know that certain things that you are seeing as being selfish, like, for example, leaving whatever this security is and going towards the medicine woman calling. You may see it as selfish to go down that road because it's so pleasurable and because you like it so much. It must be bad for me. Like, no, you are actually depriving all of the rest of us from what it is you have to offer. So you're depriving us of medicine, your medicine, right? So it's really what the Democrat is saying. You have to think about all of the people who could be benefiting from what you have to offer that are not, because you are allowing other people's opinions and someone else's definition of success to guide your decisions. And that could be seen as selfish as well. You know, we want what you have to offer. I want to see it, you know? So, you can think about that from that perspective as well. It's like, what is it that I have to offer that people are not really getting to benefit from because, you know, I've chosen to try to make other people happy who are not happy with what I do anyway. That's the energy I'm getting. I'm getting like this energy of being around people who, no matter what you do, you can't really please them. So we got a lot of cards here. We have the Seven of Swords. We have the Seven of Wands. We have the Hierophant. Ooh. We have the King of Coins. And we have the Emperor. Okay, so what I'm getting here in your tarot cards is you fear backlash of making this change. You fear that if you don't take this path in a very regimented way that other people can agree with, if you don't make people feel good about every step that you take, that they're going to come and stab you in the back or come at you with criticism. So, like, that's what this shadow is. It feels like someone laughing at you, someone lurking, waiting for you to make a mistake or waiting for you to fail. And the Seven of Wands is saying you're going to have to stand up and make yourself counted. You have to stand up and just be who you are, and you need a bit of a shit shield. You need a shit shield, not a bit of one. You probably need a relatively big one. But this is necessary. And you can't wait until other people make you feel comfortable to move forward, or they're comfortable with it and give you their blessings, because the universe, the divine, the planet, the collective is giving their blessings. And the Hierophant is telling me that that you have divine feminine medicine woman, the Hierophant. This is something that you inherited through a female ancestor. This is, so for some of you, that when I said herbal healing and witchcraft, this is very much that. And it can manifest itself into your life in different ways, but you have a way of healing through your modality of healing comes from your ancestors. It is meant to be. This is not a, well, you can do it, but this is not a but. This is very much a, you are called to this for a reason. There's some other lessons from the challenges of needing to stand up and be counted for it, even in the face of opposition. Yes, that does not diminish the fact that it's just meant to be. All of us need to have some lessons in resiliency along the way. If you're never challenged, then we don't find our inner resolve, right? And our inner faith and trust in the divine, and holding on to our alignment with our frequency for dear life. If you're never taken away from it, you don't know how important it is to hold on to it, and hold on to it from a place of knowing inside of yourself. When we get to the King of Coins and the Emperor, I feel that you are a very community-minded person. You're interested in creating wealth and abundance for more than yourself. It's just that the way that you've been doing it up to now is not sustainable, and is not really making use of everything that is on offer for you. You need to be standing in this divine feminine center, which means they're saying, like, don't mind if you have to tell someone off. If you have to stand up and leave a dinner because someone's being rude, or if you need to tell someone that if they don't have nothing nice to say, then don't say nothing, and that means don't call me until you've changed your attitude, then that's the way it is. Because the King of Coins is also establishing for the long term. So this is not a fleeting moment for you. You have to grab the earth, ground into it, plant your roots, and trust that is what I'm here to do. And the Emperor is I'm managing my kingdom with the people and things that have the vibe and the frequency that, that nourish and support everybody, and everything else gets the sword. That's it. So you're being called to be a leader in your own life, and that is going to create abundance for everyone. And sometimes they're saying sometimes you have to do things that other people don't see the benefit. You're doing it for everybody's good, regardless of who's yakking in your ear. Yak, yak, yak. Regardless. So they want you to know that everything is not as black and white, but also everything is not as... But the gray area is not indecision. The gray area is tried and true ways of abundance versus trailblazing or doing something different, but knowing so deeply that this is meant to be so, and it will be supported by the divine in terms of river of blessings. Yes. I'm going to go to the final oracles here. We're using, what deck is this? Power of Love by James Von Prague. And then I'm going to take from one more deck. This is such a nice reading today. I like hanging with the bees, with my beeswax candle over here. Oop, and my bumblebee jasper. Yeah, it was really nice. So, past. Through the power of love, you release any stagnant situations or energy in order to transform your heart space. Yeah, so letting go of anything that happened in the past. If you had a past failure that people keep throwing in your face, that is, let it go. Yeah, you're rebuilding. You're on the path to, like, I'm getting maverick energy, even though. So this to me, like now I'm really feeling why you have this strong divine masculine and then divine feminine kind of down the middle. It's because you do need a strong dose of the divine masculine resolve and action to make, they're like, I like how they're on either side. They're like guarding the divine feminine so that it can blossom into and rise into what it needs to. But in the meantime, there's some divine masculine energy that is playing defense or offense or whatever it needs to in order to keep you safe and thriving. Joy. You delight in the love of life and bring a spirit of fun to all that you do, medicine woman or man or medicine person. So if you weren't sure what we were talking about this whole time in terms of medicine woman and what it is, what medicine you have to bring, it comes in the form of however you find joy. Medicine comes in many, many forms. It comes in exercise. It comes in good books. It comes in art. It comes in food. It comes in decor. It comes in a good listener, right? It comes in many, many ways. What brings you joy? Commitment. You dedicate yourself to your beliefs wholeheartedly, knowing that love is the very essence of your being, of your very being. Yeah. This is it. This is being boss. This is saying, this is what I believe. I know that I'm a good person. I know that this is coming from the divine. I know that I act from love. So if you ain't down, then we'll have to talk to each other another time or just keep things casual. Committing to yourself, committing to your own growth, and committing to what you know to be the truth, your own inner truth, and your soul's truth. This is the Earth Warrior Oracle by Alana Fairchild, and this will be your final oracle, pile 3. I'm almost sad. You're the last pile. This is the last card from the bees. It is so lovely. Should I take that one up there? Yeah. I feel almost. Ooh. They wanted me to show the card on the bottom too. So we have number 1, Hozo. I'm sorry, don't know how to pronounce all of these, but I do my best. Beauty Way of the Navajo. And I'm going to bring it out, yes. And then at the bottom of the deck, you had Medicine Horse, 41, Progress on the Path. Progress on the Path. And I just, the fact that medicine was there just made it all the more pertinent. So for this one, I'm just going to read from the guidebook because I feel that there's nuances, especially in the first card, there's some nuances that are already beautifully captured in the book. Okay, you are my sacred earth child, and I am your divine earth mother. With unconditional love, I provide all you want and need so that you may fulfill your sacred destiny. We will always belong to each other. With abundance and generosity, I support you and reveal such divine beauty meant for you that joy and awe shall fill your soul. Relax now. It is time for you to be healed. Yeah. That's a topic I'm probably going to get into very soon. The invitation from the earth for the souls that are here to come to do what they are here to do. And that sacred invitation. And that is in Gaia's frequency, in the earth's frequency. So if you are working on your earth star chakra, or working on your earth star chakra will ground you into your soul's purpose and make some of these moments where you have to stand your ground easier, because it just feels so like, why would I do anything different than what I was called here to do? No, that's like the pizza man coming in and fixing my plumbing. Like, no, he came to deliver a pizza. That's what he did, you know? Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track here. So, number 41, Medicine Horse. I am Medicine Horse, bringing you the message of freedom, journey, and progress. Do not act as though you are a beast of burden. Claim your innate divine dignity. Allow yourself to feel and be graceful. Recognize and honor your needs for rest, openness, safety, and respect. An ability to hear, know, and feel spiritual truth, which will guide you in every aspect of your life journey, is opening up. Connect with your spirit. Live your truth. It's time to live your truth, pile 3, and know that it is divinely guided. And I'm getting at the very end of this now, I'm getting that some of you are like very much so divinely guided, but are struggling with taking that on as like a career, making a life out of it. And just know that as long as you continue with intention, moving forward in that direction, that, you know, the river of blessings will open up to you. You know, just take it one step at a time. It was such a lovely reading. So thank you, everybody. Pile 3. I hope this resonated with you. And I'll be back next month with another Grounding into Gaia reading. And until then, take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye for now.